you want me to show you something I haven't shown you before? What we got over here is a 1984 Kawasaki Voyager 1300. I'm going to try to push this thing out of here so we can get a better look at it. Man, that thing is heavy, especially when it's dug into the ground. So we can get a better look out here. So like I said, 84 Kawasaki Voyager 1300. Look how wide that engine is there. That tank has an inline 6-cylinder engine in it. This was actually my wife's grandfather's bike. He bought it brand new. And I'm telling you, for a 1984, this thing was loaded. Everything's digital, 80s digital, of course. Here you get your fuel consumption, all kinds of stuff. It's got a built-in air compressor for your suspension, radio. The biggest issue with this thing is the tank is rusted. But I'll go ahead and throw a battery in it, throw some fuel in it, and see if she'll fire up. This thing is filthy. Hopefully I can get it running so I can bring it over and wash it off. You can see right here, this is where she's leaking. They tried repairing it at one point. It really just needs a new tank. But anyways, let's see if she fires up. This thing, whoa, yeah. Okay, I guess she's leaking really bad right there. My leg just got soaked. Anyways, let's see if she'll fire up. This thing's a 1984 and it's fuel injected. Check her out. Trying. There she goes. Well, she is certainly not running right. I almost think the fuel pump might be going in it. So let's go ahead and pull the tank, see what we can do. Looks like just one bolt holds that tank. See the tank here, they did some type of epoxy on it at one time, but she didn't hold. I'd say that's probably why she wasn't running right. Thing probably wasn't even getting much fuel out of the petcock here. So right now I got it on. I can blow through it, but I actually didn't have much fuel in here, so I was running on reserve, which would have been this right here. And I'm pretty sure most bikes should have a filter there. I don't see a filter at all, probably rotted off. So I went ahead and flushed out the tank, also cleaned out that petcock. Now I did not seal this thing, so it's still going to leak, but I just want to see if it's going to run better first. Alright, I did throw a little goop on here to help stop it a little bit. Should be enough. Coming out of it. Even this is working. Everything works on this thing. Does not idle though. Obstacle course around here. But she didn't go half bad. The clutch is not quite disengaging all the way. Every time I go to click it in gear, it kind of grinds a little bit. Now this thing hasn't been on the road since 2002. So I guess sitting 11 years, I probably don't blame it. The clutches have probably worked themselves free, I'm guessing. But now that it seems like it's running better, I should be able to get it with a new fuel filter. Look at all the rust in the bottom of that thing. Definitely fix that tank. And I will try it now. I threw it in here already. I actually have the KBS tank sealer kit. The only problem is it's pretty old. I bought it back when I first got my 350X, which was like 6-7 years ago. I don't know if it's any good anymore or not. The stuff's kind of pricey. I'm going to try to use it anyways. I was surprised. All the electronics so far that I tried work on this thing. So I guess the next step, get that tank sealed up. New fuel filter, fresh gas, new spark plugs. After that, I bet this thing will run a whole lot better. Alright, let's go ahead and do a little tune-up on the Kawasaki Voyager. We got 6 new spark plugs, a new fuel filter, some oil. The only thing I wasn't able to get, unfortunately, was an oil filter. Nobody had one in stock around me. I'll have to order one. Oh, wow, that's not good. Oh, man. No wonder she ain't running right. Oh, man. Look at all that junk that come out of there. Gotta clean the best I can. I know I should replace it, and I will. I'll have to order one. Nobody's gonna have one in stock for this old thing. This fuel line right here is in pretty rough shape, so we're gonna replace the whole thing. New stuff. 2 outside ones on the right bank here look like they're running a little lean. One on the left there is running a little rich. On to the left side here. Let's check this side. Looks like 2 were rich on that one, one's lean. That's definitely a downfall to the 6-cylinder. A little more costly to maintain. Alright, moment of truth. Is she gonna leak? So I did the KBS tank sealer kit, plus I JB weld on the outside of the tank. The inside of the tank looks pretty good now. Sounds way better. Well, that's a whole lot closer to that 130 horse at 8,000 RPM she's supposed to be at. She might actually see a tire tomorrow. So far so good on the tank, doesn't mean it's going to hold up, but right now it's looking good. Ooh. This thing is a lazy boy on wheels. Some fuel. I think this has got about a 7-gallon tank. Gotta get my mirrors on this thing. Sure does look like we're gonna get some rain today. Alright, let's see what this old girl's got on tire here. don't trust it to do much faster right now. Gotta get used to it first. Well, the old Voyager didn't go too bad. It only did about a 12-mile loop. But hey, you gotta start somewhere. And I gotta figure out what's going on with the brakes, because I have 0 rear brakes. Front brakes work fine. We can absolutely go over the features of this old thing. So this is a 1984 Kawasaki Voyager 1300. I would say our most prominent feature is the inline 6-cylinder engine that is rated at 130 horsepower at 8,000 RPMs. For 1984, this thing's got a ton of features on it. This big inline 6-cylinder is actually fuel injected, digital fuel injection right there. Turn on the gauge here, you can see everything's digital on this thing. From the fuel gauge, temp gauge. You can actually click this right here, and that'll show your battery voltage. And you can go from temp to battery voltage. You get your warning light over here. This means the kickstand is down, oil level, fuel level, temp. And if you get a problem with your digital fuel injection, we got a compass right here. And it does work. It's pointing northwest right now. Your normal stuff, hazards. This is for your stereo. I actually haven't tried the stereo out on this, so we'll try it out right now. I am missing the antenna, so I know the radio is not going to come in the best. Before we do the radio, it says air shocks front and rear, and it's got a built-in air compressor for it. So with the seat removed, you can see this is the tiny little air compressor that's built in. And this thing does work. We're on rear right now. We check. We're at 2. We can let it down. We can pump it up. We can go to the front. Check the front at about 2. Same thing. Let it out. Pump it up. Pretty neat. Pretty handy to have. And we even got a deer whistle. And it works. Get your built-in speakers. Speaking of which, let's go ahead and try this out. I think anything's going to come in here because of the no antenna. But it does sound like it's working. Go ahead and open it up. Get our tape player here, or cassette player. And I did see some cassettes in here. We got Quiet Riot. We got a little CCR. That's more fitting for this bike, I think. We got some mixtapes in there too. We'll go ahead and throw that in. There she goes. We got our fast forward. Rewind. Hit that program. It switches sides of that tape, so you don't have to flip it over. This thing's pushing almost 40 years old now. 1984. It's got, if we go through the modes here, you got fuel consumption, average miles per gallon, average speed, trip mileage, trip time, stopwatch, current miles per gallon, fuel range, fuel added. Not sure what that one is. You got cruise control right here. Switch miles per hour to kilometers per hour. You can actually move the headlights up and down. I don't know if it works, but I read somewhere that the dry weight on this thing was like 650 pounds, but that was wrong. I found a magazine in 1983 when this first came out, and it said 909 pounds with a half tank of fuel in this thing. It's also saying it gets about 31.5 miles per gallon. It would do a quarter mile, about 13 seconds, 100 miles an hour, and a top speed of 145 miles per hour. This thing is obviously built for 2 people. Nice backrest. This thing's actually pretty comfortable back here. Maybe I can get my wife on there pretty soon, but I gotta fix the rear brakes first. You get your odometer over here. This has got 73,000 miles on it. I didn't know there was a motorcycle cover in here, otherwise I would have used it. Then in the back here, of course, you get all kinds of stuff. You get your nice mirror, big old storage bin up here. We got storage here. Storage under these. Storage. Pretty sweet old bike.